Okay, here we go. So what's up with the idea of purity? And is this just kind of some kind of post-Christian trauma here going on? Yeah, I think so. I have no idea actually, but I think that some people, and there is this tendency in the world to seek the thing pure, and I am no different. When I say that I want to, some people go very weird with the whole purity thing, what I'm talking about, but how am I different? I am different, but I'm also seeking, I just call it authenticity. And what does it mean? What does it mean? So I was thinking about it, and I was trying to name what is this that is bothering me when I go and repeat myself, and for example I make a video and then I make 5 more to explain myself because I feel like I didn't do things justice and things like that. Or there was also, when I said a couple of days ago I had this feeling of doom, and it was a couple of things, about who am I? Is it possible to know the self? Is it possible to know the other? Am I making a difference? Is it even possible for me to make any difference to the world? Does it even matter? People won't know me, and whatever I make might be misunderstood, and there's always this risk. Maybe it's all just a big fucking game, or I don't know. So the other thing that was bothering me with that is that I believe this is for me also why, oops, low battery. The meaning and the purpose of magic for me, for example, is one is to strip all the lies, all the things that aren't us, that we think that are us, and get to the core of things, and then to build up from there, and to build with alignment of thoughts, words and gestures. And this is like my big this is the core of my values and my how I try to live my life. And this is how I also look at others, whether somebody has this alignment. And of course this is something to aspire to. It's not necessarily completely achievable. And this is where the whole fucking purity comes to play as well, because I think I have very high standards for myself and for others, especially those I keep close, who that the slightest misalignment of these things, like I really perceive very profoundly, and it's I don't know, it's some kind of bug, some kind of unsatisfying misproportion, or unsatisfying, like lack of it's certain ugliness that I want to rebel against. This is what I'm striving for beauty. This is for what beauty is for me, in a way. And the problem is that I wonder, I think these might be just very unrealistic standards, but I feel it's not a question of good or bad, it's this question of alignment. And whenever I do something that is kind of out of this line, or that can be even perceived as being out of line, I kind of rush into fixing it, and I just keep fixing. And that disrupts the spontaneous flow of energy for me. And I would obviously like to live in a way where things just flow, just forwards, or let it be a circle, but they keep flowing. And I feel like because of this unrealistic goals, I keep, it's like a very jerky movement through life. sometimes. And so yeah, I don't know where it comes from. I don't know whether, there's on one hand something that I really deeply believe in, the importance of this alignment, but at the same time it causes disruption in another thing that I believe in, which is the uninterrupted flow of energy, and how to merge these two. But that would be just ideal. That would be just like a, enlightenment. And this is what this is a big mystery for me, a big question that I struggle with. And also, so as I'm, for example, creating things online and expressing myself online, it's even worse because everything you do leaves a trace, and it's like an energetic trace that you can't erase, and that somebody can bring up to question your consistency. And this is what I don't like, because I look for consistency in people as well. This is like a big thing for me. This is what comes back to what I said about how to, whether you can even know someone or whether you can trust someone. This is how I see whether I can be close with someone, because the lack of consistency triggers certain feeling of danger, and not just danger like a psychological danger, but the danger of basically it questions my reality, and it can be a very hostile place to be, because however fluid our reality can be, as humans we still have to have a sense of some baseline reality to function in this world. I said that before, that I don't, I'm not a fan of, as much as subjectivity and objectivity, they both have validity. I can't understand how someone would reject one or the other. And that's why I don't believe in everything is relative and relatable. Everything is relative, and nothing exists. Everything exists. Nothing is possible. Everything, like, whatever. No. I think I'm not that postmodern. So I think yeah, objectivity is a thing. And we operate, or we attempt to operate in this area, middle ground between the worlds, subjective worlds. So it is important to have some connection with the baseline reality, and this lack of consistency is really making me question that and go into very dark places. It's like between my subjectivity and objectivity, there's lava. there's these dark holes. That can just lead to your destruction of everything. It's a very strange place, and it's very difficult to explain. But it feels like the words that construct reality, the fact that you can call the door, or you can touch it and it appears solid. Everything becomes fluid. Everything becomes, there are no boundaries between things. It's very trippy, but it happens with nothing involved. And I would like to someone to perhaps try to explain me what's going on, but it just feels like all the particles of self are dissolving. So, this is what I deal with on a daily basis. So if I ever appear a little bit weird, perhaps that is why. But I still try to have a solid, have my feet on the ground at the same time. It can be difficult to navigate sometimes. And this is why I need this fucking consistency in people that are close with me. Because, we might go as deep as getting into, potentially that being a part of, PTSD and being, and growing up in a certain environment and having potentially narcissistic parents and all that jazz, and just having a very loose connection with reality and trusting your own feelings. So that can be a scary place to be. And also because once when I see these inconsistencies, since in the past I had a hard time to distinguish people who were, who are trying to hurt me. So when such things happen, I feel in danger, and it's very hard for me to understand whether somebody's trying to hurt me or not. So if I see this inconsistency, I see this potential of danger that can cost me my life, in a way that my mental health will deteriorate, or in a way, more metaphysical way, in which my sense of reality deteriorates. So if I notice something like that, I can become aggressive because, in many ways, because I feel like I have to protect myself, and there's this impulse of, trying to fight the enemy who wants you dead. So, and these things can be very subtle. They can, this consistency and inconsistencies, because you become very sensitive to detecting that danger. And, imagine, narcissists and psychopaths who are very, very skilled in manipulating reality, making you question things, and they do it on purpose. And sometimes it's difficult to detect, but you become so sensitive that you detect things even when they are just an accident. But you're not able to tell. So that's why it can be difficult for someone. So if somebody doesn't understand it, they will just see me as a nutter, basically. So here's introduction to Alexandra, one-on-one. Okay, so I'll finish because I hear some hostile sounds I need to protect myself from, and I am going to be back at some point. Won't be long. Take care of yourselves.